Hello, my name is Elkrief, and in this video I'm going to show you how to stop feeling stressed at work. So before we get really into how to stop feeling stressed, you first need to understand what is causing your stress. So at first glance it seems as though the type of work that you do or your boss or something along those lines is creating your stress. But if the job you are in factually created your stress, then every single moment that you were in that job, you would be stressed. But are you stressed in every single moment you're in that job? No, of course not. In some moments you're stressed, in some moments you're not. That means the job itself can't be creating the stress. Because if it was, you'd be stressed in every single moment. Another way to see that the job isn't creating stress is if you are stressed in a given moment and then a coworker sends you a funny email or someone makes a joke or you are distracted from your thoughts in some other way, you feel fine. You can laugh, you can have fun. A second ago you were stressed, and as soon as you stop thinking about it, you're fine. Another way to see that thoughts are creating your stress is to just take a moment right now and just think about work. Think about what you don't want to happen. Think about how bad it would be if your boss doesn't like your new presentation. Think about how bad it would be if you don't land the client, or a client gets upset with you, or somebody yells at you, or if you would get fired. Think about how bad it would be. Really imagine a scenario in your head and watch what happens. All of a sudden stress is created. But there's nothing factually occurring right now to create stress. It's just thoughts. So the only thing that creates your stress at work and about work is the thoughts in your head, the thoughts that you are believing. So what that means is that you can be at peace at work. If your coworkers or the type of job you are in factually created your stress, then you'd be screwed. It would be inevitable that you keep staying stressed. But since it's only the thoughts in your head that are creating stress, that means you have a chance. That means you can be at peace while at work. And that doesn't mean that your stress isn't strong. Of course it can be strong. No matter how strong it is, though, it's still only created by thoughts. So, there are two fundamental beliefs that tend to create stress at work. Okay, the two beliefs are, one, it means something about me if something goes wrong. So in other words, it means something about me if my boss doesn't like me, if the boss doesn't like my work, if a client leaves us, if a client doesn't decide to join us, if I get fired. It means something about me. It means I'm a failure. It means I'm unworthy. It means I'm not good enough. And the second major belief that creates stress at work is the idea, I know what outcome is best for my life, and I know what outcome is bad for my life. So those are the two beliefs that create stress. They might not resonate with you in the way that I described it just now, but when I go into it in a little bit more detail in a minute, you'll see how one or both of them speaks exactly to your situation. So when you're at work, okay, first we'll talk about the first one that I mentioned. When you're at work, when does the stress occur? When does it arise? Does it arise when you're creating the work? When you're doing the work to give to someone? When does it arise? Does it occur when you're doing something that can be evaluated? So what happens is generally when we have a job is we take on the identity of that job. I am an accountant, I am a customer service rep, I am a lawyer, I am a trader, I am a banker, I am something. And so what happens is when we believe that's who we are, then of course we want to think of ourselves as a good one. We don't want to think of ourselves as a bad lawyer, we want to think of ourselves as a good lawyer. We don't want to think of ourselves as a bad accountant, we want to think of ourselves as a good accountant. So what happens is in your job, you're constantly trying to prove to yourself that you are good at your job, that you are smart, that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are okay, that you are good at this, that there's nothing wrong with you. And so every piece of work is attempted to be evidenced or proof that you are good, right? That you are smart, that you are okay, that you're good at your job. Every piece of work that you do, every interaction you have with your boss, every presentation you give, every time you talk to a client is trying to prove to yourself that you're good at your job. Okay? And so what that means, and when you do well, it gives you pleasure. I'm good at this. Yay, it's going well. But no matter how good you're doing at it, you don't know whether it will stay that way. All it takes is one client leaving, one presentation to go bad, one insult by your boss, one criticism by a coworker, and then all of a sudden, maybe I'm not so good at this. It doesn't matter how many years or days or clients or anything that went well in the past. Whether you're good at this or not, whether you're capable, smart, great at it or not, is judged in this moment by your mind. So, if you produce some work and your boss says, I don't really like it, I'd rather go with your coworkers, or you need to fix this and this and this, how could you write that? Or a client, you go to pitch a new client and they don't take the offer, you don't make the sale, then boom, maybe I'm not so good at sales. Boom, maybe I'm not great at presenting. Have I lost it? Why am I not good at it? So when you think that the quality of your work means something about you, or the outcome of your work means something about you, it's a recipe for stress. So now let's examine whether it does signify something about you. So if you produce work, your boss might like it or he might not. But whether he likes it or not, what does that mean about you? Just because he doesn't like it doesn't mean the work is bad. It's just another perspective. Maybe you think it's good, he thinks it's bad. Maybe a different boss would like it. Right? If you have a sales meeting, right, and you don't get the sale, you think that means something about you, but maybe he was in a bad mood. Maybe he didn't like your tie. Maybe you had no chance anyhow because they just came from another sales meeting with your competitor and it was just so good it has nothing to do with you. Or maybe it has to do with your company and not you. No matter what you do, it doesn't mean anything about you because there are other variables at play here. You see, whatever you produce, someone could like it, someone might not. Someone could think it's great, someone could not. Someone could completely discard or discredit what you create based on something they think about you. They don't like the way you talk, they don't like the way you look. Anything along those lines. It doesn't mean anything about who you are. But as long as you believe that your good work means or work that gets you what you want, and work that is complimented by your boss means you are good, you will continue to worry about being bad. Okay, I'll say that again. As long as when things are going well, you think that means you are great and good at this, you will continue to stress about things possibly going wrong. Because no matter how good things are, there is absolutely no guarantee that they will stay that way. You are one presentation, one report, one client meeting away from, boom, maybe I'm not so good at this. And that's why you're stressed, because you think everything that you do means something about you. You do your best, and then you see what happens. So that's the first part that creates your stress at work. The second part of it is the idea, I know what is best for my life, and I know what is bad. So to give you an example, if you go into a meeting to try to get a new client, you go into that meeting with the idea, it would be best for me in my life to get this new client. You don't even question that. And so you experience stress. The stress is created by the idea it would be worse for my life if I don't get the client. It's not created by the upcoming client meeting. That's not creating your stress. Because in any moment you don't think about it, there's no stress. It's just the idea it would be best if I get the client, bad if I don't. So you may have all these reasons why it would be best, because we need them and things aren't going so well and this and that. But is it possible that it would be bad if you get the new client? Maybe they end up taking all of your time, and that time could have been spent on some other form of lead generation. Or you could have gotten a bunch of other clients if you didn't get them. Or maybe you get this new client and you make a mistake on it, and that ruins your reputation at work. Or maybe you get this new client and the company does a bad job, and then they tell other potential clients that you aren't so good, and then it hurts your business. Or maybe you get this new client and it's great for your business, but it's terrible for your social life or your family life because it takes up so much of your time and it makes you also even more stressed. How do you know? And if you don't get the client, maybe you'll get a better one later. Maybe that will free up more time for you to enjoy with your family and kids. How do you know what is best for you? Or maybe you're stressed because you think it would be bad if you get fired and lose your job. And I know that seems like it would be terrible. It seems obvious that would be terrible. But do you know that's true? Can you think of any possible good effects that could come from that? Maybe you get a better job. Maybe this job wasn't right for you. Maybe you find something that you're more passionate about. Maybe you start your own business. Who knows? Maybe that gives you some time off and you find a book that changes your life and makes you happy. Maybe that acts as a catalyst to change how you prioritize things in life. Maybe you get to spend more time with family. I don't know. But look for yourself. You don't know either. We constantly operate based on the assumption, I know what is best for me, I know what is bad for me. But if you actually look, you'll discover you don't know the future. It's quite obvious when you look at it. You do not know the future. Or in other words, you do not know what all the future effects are of any particular outcome in life. One cause doesn't have one effect. One cause has a million effects which you don't even know. So it's not about convincing yourself, no, it would be good if I don't get the client. No, it would be good if, it would be best for my life if I get fired. No, that's a belief. What I'm suggesting is you ask yourself questions to discover, I don't know which outcome is best or worst. And you can still give 100% of your effort towards the presentation or towards whatever you want. It just means that there's no anxiety to go along with it. So you may think that if you don't have anxiety and stress, you won't put as much effort towards work. But that's not true. If you have less anxiety, then you enjoy it more, so you can put more energy into it. If you're not afraid of failing at a particular outcome, let's say you have a presentation and you're afraid it won't go well. Well, sometimes we don't put in 100% effort because if we put in 100% effort and we fail, then it means something about me. But if I only put in 80% effort, then it doesn't mean anything about me. I didn't do well because I didn't get to put enough time into it. We have an excuse. Or if you're doing work and you're stressed, that means part of your attention is on the thoughts in your head, which means part of your attention isn't on your work, which it decreases the quality of your work, decreases your comprehension, decreases your memory, and ultimately decreases the effectiveness of your work. And in addition to all that, when you're stressed, you're less enjoyable to be around. Less of a comfortable person to be around, and less effective as a presenter, wouldn't you think? So, in order to stop feeling stressed at work, you just need to discover two things, or one of two will be fine, in fact. If you discover that work that is complimented or successful work doesn't mean you're great, and unsuccessful work or insults doesn't mean you're bad. Or you can discover, I don't know what's best for my life. I don't know it would be better to get complimented or promoted. I don't know whether it would be better to get the client. I just don't know. I'd rather do that. I want that, but I don't know that it's best for me in the long run. For my business life, my family life, my happiness, I just don't know. And if you feel, oh, but I need to keep my stress, it's useful, question that, because it's not. Just because you've gotten things done with stress doesn't mean stress is necessary, needed, or even helpful. Okay, so that's how to deal with stress at work. I hope you found it helpful. Please feel free to message me, comment, or whatever if you have a question or comment. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.